Try and ignore the mess in the background if you can. We had a surprise visit from the internet people yesterday because they turned off our internet, and then they knocked on the door half an hour after I got home, and I had to run around and hoover so that our flat looked presentable. Kiwi and I are ridiculously messy. Our flat is really clean but messy. We just put stuff everywhere on every available surface, and I've got some soup quietly bubbling away in the background, and I recently started a new diet. It's not really a diet so much as cutting out potatoes, pasta, bread, everything delicious that's ever been processed you can't eat. So it's meat and legumes and vegetables, and I'm starving and I want my lunch because it's quite hard to fill up on chicken and beans. But anyway, this is going to be a review. It's going to be a review of the E.L.F. Stipple brush because it's been requested a few times and I've not got around to it yet, and I need to get around to it, so I'm doing it today. I've tried to film this video about 5 times and every single time I've been disturbed by somebody. But, okay, so this is the E.L.F. Stipple brush. Apologies that it's dirty. This is what it looks like. It's pretty, it's not that dense at all, really. It's a synthetic haired Taklon brush. It is touted to create a soft airbrushed look. It is perfect for foundation, adding colour definition to the cheekbones or highlighting. That is almost verbatim from the E.L.F. site. They also say it can be used wet or dry, so that's a basic product overview. It is their version of a stippling brush, or their kind of shot at making the 187. As for the quality of this brush, I took it out of the packet and I washed it, and 4 bristles fell out immediately and more broke when I attempted to stipple foundation on. So I think the quality is way below the bar with this brush. It's certainly not up to the standard of all the other studio line brushes I own at all. This is nowhere near. I think that they just tried to take a shot at a really, really popular market, and I don't think they executed it with their usual quality control or finesse. As for the bristles, they've not bled yet. They've not bled at all, in fact. And the ferrule is pretty well attached to the handle, so it's not that's not the problem. It's just the fact that 4 bristles fell out and loads broke when I first used it, which made me question, was this product rushed, or is it just ill-conceived, or is it just that they didn't really understand what they were trying to make? Because you know that the 187 is a bit of a phenomenon. As regards comparison with other studio line brushes, I've got the powder brush here. Both of these are grubby, I'm really sorry. What I will say is this is far, far superior to this. This is so much better quality, much better bang for your buck. This is a really cheap feeling brush to me. This is just great, this is not. But we'll go into that in a second. What I will say is straight off the bat, this is not comparable to the 187. It's just not. I've used the 187 about 3 times. I still don't like it. But I ordered this out of curiosity. I thought, well, maybe I'll just give a stippling brush another chance. And I much prefer the 187 to this. This is just not comparable for me. It's kind of in between the 187 and the 188 in terms of bristle density and size. It's sort of the size of a 187, as you can see, but the bristle density and the kind of thin nature of the bristles here, it puts you much more in mind of a 188. So it's extremely lightweight, but it is lightweight to the point of feeling cheap when I got it out. It doesn't feel very sturdy, it just feels really flimsy in my hand. The flimsy feeling is right down to the bristles. The bristles are just not sturdy. They have way too much give. If you just watch me push it onto my hand, you'll see that it buckles with just the slight. I'm only just pushing on it a tiny bit, and the bristles buckle with the slightest pressure. So it really, really annoys me. The other thing is that the bristles just aren't dense enough for applying foundation. I really don't like this for stippling foundation. I have tried it. I did this for a bit and then I buffed it for a bit, and I just don't think that you're going to get a nice coverage with this. You'll get probably a light coverage, so if this is your first time with a stippling brush, this would probably be quite good for you. But it might well put you off stippling brushes because it's not going to give you particularly good coverage, I don't think. The good thing about this brush is that it works really, really well with cream blushes. Really pigmented ones like MAC's cream colour bases, or also powder blushes like MSF's. The reason it works is because the bristles are so, what's the word? They've got so much give that you don't pick up very much product. So you need to use this brush really, really gently with cream blushes, in the sense that you're just going to gently stroke it along here and then gently blend it down. You're not going to use it for blending blushes out, in the sense that, you know, if you put too much on, you can't really go like that because it's not going to do anything, it's too soft. But it's really, really good because it doesn't pick up a lot of product. I find that really useful with really pigmented blushes like Makeup Forever HT Blush or the cream colour bases. It works really well with MSFs as well because it's not very dense, and if you've ever used a blush brush with an MSF, such as the 168 or one of the round ones with the black hairs that MAC does, you'll find that often you can look like a glitter bomb. So this is just really nice just to deposit a little bit of MSF without looking like ABBA has exploded on your face. So that's quite nice. As for, you know, some kind of conclusion, maybe, I think that this brush is functional. It's well priced, it's £3.50. I mean, you can't really get much cheaper for a makeup brush, but it feels flimsy and it lacks the quality of other E.L.F. Studio Line brushes. It's not reassuringly well made. Bristles fall out and they break, and I just think that they shot too high with this brush. They could have made it so much better, but as it is, it's just not stiff enough, it's not dense enough, and it's not good enough to be a dupe of the 187. I would probably advise this for people that have a lot of MSFs or a lot of cream blushes. So if you're looking for a stippling brush for your foundation, I'd suggest going elsewhere. If you're a first timer, maybe it could work for you satisfactorily, but the quality is definitely not going to last much wear and tear. It's definitely not going to work for a pro makeup artist, for example. The bristles fall out, they break, and I feel like they shot too high and they tried to emulate MAC's creation, but they just didn't do it. Even though I hate the 187, I would say it's much, much better in comparison to this. This will last you a lot less time. The bristles just aren't, the quality of the bristles just isn't there. It's just too soft. So in terms of blush, it's really, really good for cream blush, but that's all it's good for. So it's really not fulfilled its purpose. They tried to do something, they didn't do it well enough. Perhaps they should have given it a bit more time, but for me, I think it's a fail for foundation. You may disagree, but for me, it definitely is. I hope this was useful, everybody.